My camera setup right now is absolutely wild in my car. It is not stable whatsoever, but you know what? We're gonna make it work. Hello, I'm Alex. Welcome back to my not quite a podcast yap session. How are you? How are you guys? I have not been sleeping. I have not been sleeping this entire month. Well, it's June 1st, so restart, I guess. But for the month of May, I could not fall asleep. And I usually don't have a problem falling asleep. It's usually I wake up a lot during the night, which is its own problem. But now I have the reverse issue of I just cannot fall asleep. So I will just lay in bed, I'll lay down, and I will just think of stuff, just all these thoughts. I have too many thoughts in my head, and it just drives me crazy. You know, if I start making more videos and talking more, maybe I could get those thoughts out, and then maybe I'll be able to go to sleep. Wouldn't that be nice? We will see with this video, and hopefully things will be better. I also haven't been productive at all for this past week, and so this is my attempt of kickstarting me into being productive. You know how like in cartoons there's like a machine or something and like it'll be broken or it won't work, and then like someone will kick it or do something silly like that and then suddenly it works. That's me right now. I'm the machine that needs to be kicked. Someone kick me, please. But this, I'm hoping that like me starting to talk and getting into it, like I'll just keep talking more, and then it'll be a lot better as we go along, and then I'll feel more productive and I'll be able to do more things like packing. I am moving and I need to start packing really, really bad. I'm hoping that that's the order of these things in my life right now. I'm hoping that me talking, making content, I will feel more productive. I will be in the zone. I'll be like, oh, I should also pack. And then I can rest my head gently on my pillow at night and I will just go to sleep and everything will be okay. So, yeah. We are in the parking lot of a cafe. So I'm going to go inside. I'm going to get myself a nice little treat because I'm a child and I need to have, a treat to make me want to do things like a small kid or a dog. I do recognize that usually the treat comes after you do something, but listen, I'm doing what I can. I'm doing what I can. Okay. So I'm going to go inside. I'm going to get a nice treat. I'm going to come back outside. I'm going to decide whether or not I want to stay and keep yapping in my car because the problem is I do have to keep my car on because this is Texas. I'm back. I have cold brew, I have a dog, and I have a treat. I got a lemon loaf. Like I said before, my reward for doing something. Yay! I just had to take so much fur off of this couch. I don't know what it is. 2 animals, and I swear they shed so much. I will brush them and the hair just keeps coming. It just keeps, I'm like, how are you not bald? Yeah, do that. Get more hair on the couch. Please, keep going. So I have a confession to make. I am a chronic overthinker, and I also form very easy emotional attachment to things that are not living or not people or animals, right? So, which isn't necessarily a bad thing. It does offer some whimsy and some childlike wonder. It makes, it adds salt to your life when you kind of treat things as if they are more humanized or as if, they're more precious to you because you're thinking of them more in a human-like or a creature, a living thing. But I've always done this. I've always loved, stuffed animals. I always treat everything as if it does have some sort of spirit to it. Do you guys know in like Japanese, like Shintoism, they kind of believe that as well, where it's like everything kind of has like a life source to it, which I really like. I like that idea. But there is a reason I'm bringing this up because it does, hello, thank you, because it does, in this one particular instance, chronic overthinking and forming an emotional attachment has led to something. I have accumulated an incredible amount of dead plants. I do have some living plants. Some of them are alive. They're fine, okay? I'm not just killing my house isn't just like a graveyard of plants. But these two things have caused me to accumulate a lot of dead plants. And the reason because of this, I think, is one, because when I think of getting rid of a plant, it's really hard for me to just be like, there's something inside of me that just does not want to throw it in the garbage, right? I'm like, there's something wrong about this. It's like if I had like a fish that died or something, it feels like how people would flush fish down the toilet, like, because that's like somehow more funeral-like than just throwing it in the garbage. There's something wrong, I think, of like taking a plant and just throwing it in the garbage. It feels disrespectful in a way. I don't know. I'm the one that killed it. So it's like, I have a lot of these dead plants, and the overthinking comes in this process where I'm like, what do I do with these? I can't just put them in the garbage. I have to take them outside. I have to dump them somewhere. But I'm living in an apartment complex, and so there's people constantly everywhere. And also the spots that I could dump these plants in are kind of minimal. And so then that's like going off of my head, and I'm like, oh, it'd be hard to find a spot. What if someone sees me? What if someone's like, hey, what are you doing? Why are you dumping all these dead plants here? But today we're going to fix that, okay? Today we are going to hold a funeral for my plants. We will say thank you to all of my dead plants, and then I will take them to a spot, put them somewhere in the ground. My cat, Fenris. Oh my god. What are we looking at? All of us are looking. What is going on? You guys have seen birds before. You see them every day. Fenris is frozen right underneath my camera. He is not moving. He is locked in. Something is happening outside. There he goes. Anyways, I have completely lost my train of thought now. Thank you, Fenris. But I would like to get rid of these plants because, again, I'm accumulating too many of them and it's not good. I can get rid of them. I just get stuck. I get stuck in this loop of like, oh, it's too much work. There's too many things to think about. There's too many different variables that have to go into doing something. And then whenever you do it, you're like, oh, that really wasn't so bad. I don't know why I was locking myself in this thought process. Why do we do this? Why do we do that? And again, the emotional attachment thing comes into where it's like, I feel bad. I feel bad. I let these plants down. Some of them just sucked. Well, okay. Here in Texas, we have the issue of the outside is very hot, as I have said many times. But a lot of the times, if I take plants and I leave them on my patio, I have like a little, a covered patio. A lot of the times, they just don't make it. Like, it's just too hot outside, and they will just, it's like all the water just slurps up, gets absorbed, gets taken out of them. And then they just expire. They just die very quickly. And I always feel bad. You would think that like, because it's covered a little bit, it wouldn't be too bad. But it just, these poor plants, they just get absolutely destroyed. And I'm sure that there's like better ways of taking care of them. I'm not an expert, I'm just a girl who likes plants. But that being said, I had the opposite problem happen actually. So I had a lot of plants, a lot of like cacti and things, that thrive in a hotter environment, and they were doing really well. I had these really cool plants that a friend had given me before she moved, and I was like so happy. I'm like, oh, I inherited all these plants. And they were being taken care of really well. They were doing great. And then in like December one year, we had this like flash frost, and just overnight, just all of these cactuses just, and I wasn't here. I was visiting with family. And so my friend who was taking care of them at the time, it's like, it's not his fault. He just didn't, I'm sure, he didn't think about it. And just overnight, just all these plants died. And I was so sad because then it's like, God, like it's too hot. It's too cold. What do we do? I'm living a life of extremes with my poor plants. There's so many that just, I feel so sad. I was so upset when I came back. And then I have some plants that just refuse to die, which is fantastic. It makes me feel happy. I'm like, oh, I'm doing something right. I have one plant that I have brought back from the brink of extinction, the brink of death. I don't know, extinction, dramatic. So many times. It's an aluminum plant. That thing, I have been sure that it was about to die. Like when I go on trips, my ex did not know how to take care of plants at all. And so he did his best. But so I've come back from trips where, this one plant has just looked terrible, just awful. And I'm just like, come on, little buddy, you can do it. And then it does, it comes back to life. And so that thing is like my plant soulmate, I guess. It keeps going. It looks very good right now. It's very happy. But yeah, and then I have some other plants, still some leftover plants from what my friend gave me. I did have an orchid that she gave me, and it bloomed like 2 or 3 times, and I was really proud because orchids are like actually they're very difficult to take care of. And I was very proud that this orchid bloomed a few more times, and then it unfortunately passed away. So yeah. That's one thing I am excited about whenever I go back to Pittsburgh, is that I can keep plants outside again and they won't be attacked by the incredibly harsh rays of the sun. Why do we overthink? Why do we make processes so hard for ourselves? I have a lot of anxiety, and I notice that when my anxiety is really bad, I do that as well, where it's almost you get stuck in this like feedback loop, and my anxiety would just keep going and going, and it's like you get stuck in this thought process, and it's like, what is it going to take for us to get out of that thought process? And I guess really what it takes is like action, right? Like I have to get rid of these plants, and hopefully once I start the process, I will realize that it's not that big of a deal. It's not that strenuous on me. I'm taking some plants outside and I'm dumping them in the dirt. It's not so bad. But then, like I said, having an emotional attachment does make things difficult. And I think that's where a lot of like accumulation and hoarding of objects happens, where we just place sentimental value on things, and then it makes it really difficult to give them up, which I'm sure a lot of people do. A lot of people have attachments to items for whatever reason, and it's almost like we feel like we are letting go of like memories, because it's like, oh, when I see that item, I get this sort of feeling from it, or I remember something about it, or just it like triggers something within us. And I think we get attached to those feelings, which isn't necessarily a bad thing, but if you do have too many things that you do become attached to, then that is a problem. Oh my god, I have hair on my nose. It's difficult when you think of things from a more emotional standpoint that you don't want to get rid of. Getting rid of things. Moving on. There are things that are worth keeping, obviously. I'm not just gonna throw out a bunch of stuff. But no, I guess there's things that we collect and things that we accumulate that we have more of an attachment to. What do we do with them? I need to go throw out some plants. Come with me for my plant funeral. So here we are outside. We are joined by our 2 co-hosts today, Hotaru and Fenris. They are making it difficult for me to do anything right now. Howdy. So as you can see, we have a lot of dead plants. There's some there. There's oh good, these are empty. Oh nice, okay. But I do have a large bin right here. And so I think the smartest idea is I'm going to dump all of the dead plants into the bin. So then we can just take the bin to a spot outside and then just dump all that there. So that way I'm not carrying like an incredible amount of pots outside. So, okay, here we go. Oh my gosh, I have so much. Go buy a little cactus. There's another poor succulent that did not make it. Succulents are really difficult to take care of. And I even there's like a certain ratio of potting mixture and stuff that you need to keep for succulents, and I did that. I followed what they said online, but they did tragically pass, probably in that frost that I talked about earlier. I really hope that there's not too many holes at the bottom of this thing that I'm dumping dirt into, and then I pick it up, and then the dirt goes everywhere, and then joke's on me. Nope. There's still more. We still have some. Okay. So, the test is to see how heavy this is. Oh, that's not bad at all. Okay, cool. So now we will let's go find a spot to dump our poor plants. So unfortunately, a lot of these spots are also where they keep the air conditioners. So it might be very loud. Hopefully not, but we'll see. Goodbye, plants. Thank you for your time. Thank you for your life and your beauty. I'm sorry that I failed you and was not able to properly care for you and help you thrive. But every failure is a learning experience. Hopefully my new plants will, live longer because of what I learned from you dying. Yeah. Wow. We did it. So yeah, thank you for joining me on my mission to get rid of some things and move on and be productive. And now hopefully I will be able to start packing a little bit today. But even this is good. Wish me luck with my sleep. Thanks for watching. Hope that you at least got some entertainment or some kind of comfort from it. And yeah, have a good day. See you soon. See you later. Goodbye.